Welcome back to DHNN. On this week's episode, our school is a state finalist for the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow contest. We have the full story.
Also, our engineering classes have been building and racing. We take a look at all the recent projects, weather, announcements, and more.
DHNN starts right now. Welcome to another exciting episode of DHNN. We're your hosts for this week. I'm Tabitha Cabral-Elliott.
And I'm Mason Langlois. First, let's pause for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time for some important announcements.
DHS Snowball Dance, Friday, January 19th, 7 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $10.
It's getting pretty chilly out here.
Let's go to our DHNN weather team to see if snow's coming our way in the near future.
Hi, I'm Landon Almeida with this week's 7-day forecast. On Monday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 38 and a low of 27. On Tuesday, it will be a mix of rain and snow with a high of 35 and a low of 22. For the rest of the week, on Wednesday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 32 and a low of 21. And on Thursday, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 32 and a low of 23. On Friday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 34 and a low of 23. And on Saturday, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 34 and a low of 19. And on Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 31 and a low of 21. And that's it for this week's 7-day forecast. Back to you.
We have some really exciting news for DHS.
A team of teachers and students have been awarded as state finalists for the Samsung Solve for Tomorrow competition.
Our school was chosen as one of the 300 schools across the country to be named a finalist, and we have a chance to receive $100,000 worth of school supplies from Samsung Electronics. Recently, I was able to sit down with those involved. Hello everyone and welcome back to Coffee Break. Today I'm with Mr. Tweedy and Mr. Brodsky, and why don't you guys just go ahead and explain why you're here, who you are.
I'm an engineering teacher here at Dartmouth High School, and Mr. Tweedy is...
I teach marine science, and Mrs. Franco, who also teaches with me, is teaching aquaculture and marine science.
That's wonderful. All right guys, so I guess just want to start, do you want to explain, what the song contest is about?
Sure. Well, let me back up to last year when I decided to do a project having to do with carbon capture. And I let my students choose any project they wanted, and the student chose to build an aquaculture system. That's one way we can try to capture more carbon and reduce the impact of climate change and overfishing and habitat degradation that's happening in our oceans. So he began the project, and that's when I brought Matt and Roseanne on board. Unfortunately, he was a senior and the project kind of fizzled out. But this year we reinvigorated it with a new crew, and we figured, why not enter it in a contest?
No, that's really awesome. So what does this exactly mean for Dartmouth High School? You know, are many other schools around the area or just in general awarded this honor?
Well, it's a national contest. And we're state finalists, which is maybe five?
I believe
Six?
there's five schools from around the state that are finalists right now. So this next step is to see if we'll be a state winner, and then from there it goes to a national competition.
So if you guys were to win, I just want to wonder, you know, what would you get for winning?
Pile of Samsung gear. I think it's money in Samsung equipment. Not like physical dollars, like, I don't know, tablets or whatever. And we had some ideas, like it'd be really cool if we finally get this Wi-Fi, automated Wi-Fi, sort of Internet of Things tank chemistry system going, to have a monitor that's constantly displaying tank chemistry that the data gets pushed to, and an app. We could have school tablets that the aquaculture students could use to monitor the tank chemistry.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is unfortunately all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on today. It's really awesome work that you guys are doing with your students, and I'm really appreciative that we
Thank
get
you.
this opportunity.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for having
It was
Thanks,
really
guys.
Here's how you can donate to DHS TV Media with Donors Choose. First, search up donorschoose.org. Next, click on Find a Classroom to Support and search up Parati. Then, click on the project you would like to support. Click Give to this classroom and put in the dollar amount. Make sure to switch the amount of money supporting Donors Choose from 15% to 0%. This is so we can finish the projects faster. Then you can do the rest.
Our engineering classes have been building some cool stuff this semester.
Mr. Brodsky's engineering class shot pumpkins using trebuchets. First, what are trebuchets? Trebuchets are medieval war machines used to fire at castles. Trebuchets work by using a counterweight to fling the object wherever you need it to go. There are two types of trebuchets the engineering class built: the standard trebuchet and the floating arm trebuchet. The teams had 4 months, through September to December, to build their trebuchets, but some students finished sooner than the expected deadline. The students were able to use 2x4s, which are pieces of wood for the frames, steel tubing, rope, chain, cloth, and weights from the weight room for their trebuchets. The aim of the competition the class held is for students to fire a pumpkin with their trebuchets as far as they can in the field behind the school. Students Colin and Braylon won as they fired their pumpkins 176 feet, further than all of the other students in the competition. But the most interesting design was by Jason, Nick, and Logan. They had a very complicated design and had the potential to go past the class record, but the trebuchet kept breaking each time they used it. Mr. Brodsky has advice for the next class to do this project. Choose a team you can work well with, and make sure you have a complete and well thought out design. These trebuchets were very impressive, and we continue to be inspired by the ingenuity by the engineering class run by Mr. Brodsky, and we hope to continue seeing their growth.
Gravity cars are basically, they like go down hills and they're powered by gravity because they don't really have like a specific power source. Like they don't have like engines or anything. So when they go down the hill, right, they're just going down with the power of gravity.
So basically gravity cars, like when they go down the hill, there are no pedals or anything, so it's like mostly just with gravity, and they just use like the power of like the momentum that it gets from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill.
As you can see in this clip, the cars are using the force of gravity to be able to go down the hill.
It's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. You get in these cars, you ride them down the hill, and there's a lot of engineering involved and a ton of learning.
So basically, the only materials that we're allowed to use are like wood, screws, and old bike parts, old bike wheels, and did I say screws? Yeah, screws, and that's pretty much it. Just old bike parts and stuff.
Yeah, and another thing he forgot to mention, we could also use metal, and we also had lots of power tools, so we could, including a welder, so we could weld our own parts.
Out of all the years doing the project, that's a tough one. There have been so many amazing, unique solutions to this engineering challenge that I never would have told the students to. Had they said, what should we do? And I said, you should do X, Y, and Z. I never would have gotten the cars that I've gotten in that time. So yeah, my favorite part is the unique solutions that kids come up with to these crazy problems.
That's a question. What's your favorite memory? My favorite memory is probably watching everyone go down and crash their cars, because, I mean, we're all just kids. No one's really, like, good at building. So everyone just started crashing. It was really funny. That's, like, my favorite moment.
My favorite moment was definitely when Shafin here was going down the thing, and apparently the brakes stopped working, and he like in the car tipped, like tilted over, and he just went straight into the woods, and it was the funniest thing I ever seen. Yeah, it's like half and half. Like if you get like a wipeout, and it's not like a super bad one where you're like falling on your head and stuff. But like it's fun to like watch, but it's not fun to be the one wiping out. It's not fun to be the one wiping out.
I'd say it depends. It's worth, like, if you're like about to crash into like the woods, then yeah, I'd say it's worth it, because I mean you don't really get hurt and it's funny. But if you're like about to like fall off your car while you're going really fast, I'd say that's not worth it, because that like hurts and you're gonna ruin your clothes too.
Yeah.
Take engineering 1 and then take engineering 2 and get a good team together and work together as a team, because that's how a big project gets done.
So basically, the advice I'd have for the next class doing this project, I think I would tell them to not really go for the grade, but go for mostly the fun parts, and use all the materials that are provided for you, and think outside of the box.
Two pieces of advice I have is, first, don't use metal, because a lot of people in that group used metal and their cars did not go out well. They were like pretty heavy and they weren't even that fast. And another piece of advice I'd say is plan out your idea before you build, because if you make a mistake, it's kind of like you have to restart. But if you plan it all out, you have like a solid idea on what to do.
Okay, thank you guys.
Wondering what's for lunch this week?
Not a problem. It's time for the lunch show. Monday, January 15th, no school, Martin Luther King Day. Tuesday, January 16th is a cowboy burger and a bagel with cream cheese. Wednesday, January 17th is mac and cheese and mini waffle bites. Thursday, January 18th is a chicken sandwich and more mini waffle bites. Friday, January 19th is Wild Mike's cheese bites with mini maple pancakes. we've come to the end of this episode.
Thanks for viewing and stay tuned for more great stories next week. We'll take you to the annual Poetry Out Loud competition sponsored by our English department.
We'll also take a look at the popular world language class.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss it. I'm Tabitha Cabral Elliott.
And I'm Mason Langlois.
Thanks for watching.